Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing day. Honored to be connecting in with you. Today, we're going to be talking about how to clarify your purpose and your calling. How valuable and important that is, that we can not only be able to clarify our purpose, because we're all about helping you live on purpose and with purpose, empowering you to do so. But we want to have clarity of our purpose and our calling so we know what it is, we know how to connect with it, and see, are we in alignment with our purpose? Does something need to shift? Do we need to connect in a different way so that we can feel and know that we are on purpose and moving forward and navigating in life in a mindful, powerful, purposeful way? Because each and every one of you are uniquely and wonderfully made, I believed truly called to step forward in a way that makes a difference. And we're able to do that when we step into our purpose. We step into our gifts, our talents. We bring all of who we are into the mix. That helps us align with our purpose. It helps us become more of who we are. And in doing so, helps us have the impact that we are called to have, both for now and for all that is to come. We can build an amazing legacy in our life by dialing into our purpose, living on purpose, and bringing forward our gifts and talents to the world. So I'm really honored to have each of you joining in. I know you're going to enjoy our guests, and I invite you to grab a piece of paper and a pen if you haven't already, because you're going to have opportunities today to call in. You're going to have opportunities today to really dig into your purpose and your calling and to process that and integrate it. And some of that will happen as we're sharing. Sometimes it'll bubble up within you. So having that piece of paper there where you can capture ideas and insights and start to put them into motion will support you. So I encourage you, grab that piece of paper. Let's take a breath as we connect in. Deep breath in through the nose, all the way to your toes, and then out through your mouth, like through a straw. And notice, take another beautiful breath in. Notice as you do so, feel that air coming in, that oxygen coming in, reaching every cell in your body, supporting you, nourishing you, empowering you. When you breathe out, imagine releasing all that no longer serves, any stress, any strain, anything that's pulling at you. Let's just release for the moment. This is your time. I claim it for you. I honor it. And I know that you're here for a reason and a purpose. It's not an accident that you tuned in today. So I invite you to choose to be fully present. And breath, mindfully and purposely, can help you connect in, slow down, and become present. And while we're breathing and enjoying this moment of rich oxygenation, I encourage you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Put both hands on your heart. And just notice your heartbeat as you're slowing down and breathing. And I invite you to think about and feel into your purpose. Have you thought about your purpose lately? Are you connecting in with it? What would support and empower you to connect more fully with your purpose, your calling, and that mission in your life? What is it you need today? Real time to support you. Just listen, feel in with curiosity, and discover what's bubbling up. Or identifying what it is that you need today, what you're noticing. Not asking you to identify why or how. We're just identifying what is it that you need, that you are willing to receive because you have choice. See if that shifts anything a little bit. Beautiful. Receive that information. With that, let's take another deep breath and come back into the room. Eyes open, fully present, and take a moment to write down what was laid on your heart, what it is that you need and are willing to receive. By writing it down, it stops swirling around in you, creates room for more, and it helps you bring it into reality and keep it top of mind, because we can get distracted by shiny objects sometimes. So by keeping it top of mind, that will connect you, ground you back into your purpose and what you need today. Beautiful. We're going to go around our virtual room, and I'll bring my guests aboard and have them share when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on their heart. So I'd love for you each to share just 10 to 15 seconds what was laid on your heart. And Rachel, I'd love to start with you.
Okay. What was laid on my heart is I was so excited thinking about how I'm going to be able to share a glimpse of the blueprint of my life to share to the world, because I believe that's part of my ultimate calling in my life.
Beautiful. I can feel that excitement coming from you. So I love that. And we support that. And I think that's a beautiful example of us aligning with our calling and our purpose. There's an excitement, a bit of a fire in our belly around it.
Yeah,
so it's a beautiful, absolutely beautiful example of that. Thank you for sharing.
Welcome.
And Dr. Robin, what about you? What was laid on your heart?
Oh, it was laid on my heart, the energy of the connection of those who are listening. That this is not just a routine task here, that I am here as an avenue for the people who are listening, and I felt that sense of connection.
I love that. I love that. So very purposeful tuning in and this connecting to really serve and support. I love that. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, honor that. Absolutely. Beautiful. Great. And listeners, how about you? You're part of this connection. Do you feel excitement as you're connecting in? Are you feeling a purposefulness in it, a mindfulness, a deliberateness in that connection? What is coming up for you as we take a moment to pause, to pour into you, to have you open to receive? What's coming up for you? I hope that you are feeling that connection, that excitement, that support. I want to give you a couple of minutes before we dig into the interview segments where you can really stay present and listen to what's being laid on your heart. Let's lay that groundwork, that foundation for our conversation today. With that, we are going to transition to our first commercial break. I encourage you to stay present. Take these 2 minutes just for you to breathe, be present, and explore what's being laid on your heart and spirit. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at Facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to be still, to listen. Sometimes we are moving so quickly. The to-do list seems long. We feel that pull of so many demands on our time and energy that we sometimes forget to pause, forget to listen, and slow down just 2 minutes for ourselves so we can actually hear what matters to us. We can hear that wisdom and insight that's bubbling up from within. We can tap into support. I'm going to invite you throughout our show today to take these 2-minute moments for you. It'll give you time to process, to integrate, to listen, and receive. So I hope you enjoyed that. There will be another one coming up soon. So be ready to sink in and enjoy. As we dive into our first interview session or section, I'm very excited to introduce our first guest. I know you're going to love her heart, her spirit, and her beautiful energy as she leans into our conversation. Rachel White is an author, a motivational speaker with an extensive psychiatric and nursing background. She is a life coach, an advocate for mental awareness, and a John Maxwell trainer who is absolutely passionate about you living a life of joy and vitality and purpose. Please lean in and warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and heart-centered Rachel White to the show. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. I'm excited. Glad to be here. Hello, everyone.
I was thrilled to have you joining us, picturing you taking that stage as we virtually all connect in and lean in. I love that about technology, that we can reach around the world and come together in a moment, time, and space. So welcome, welcome. And I wanted to start our conversation with why is this work of helping people live a life of joy and vitality, why is that personally so important to you?
It's personally important to me because that has been a gem of my life because it could have been the other way around. So I make it a big deal because by the grace of God, that's how I'm living my life. And it's all by His grace because I went through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout my life as a 10-year-old kid losing both parents and tragedies and a lot of other obstacles. And that has a lot to do with my stance on that. Of course, I don't want to go into all of the drama, but it's such a blessing to be able to have joy and vitality when the enemy meant to have you depressed and down and out. But it's a glorious thing to be able to witness and tell everybody that you can still have joy and vitality regardless of what has happened in your life or what's going to happen.
I love that, because we do all have challenges and difficult times and things that can just stop us in our tracks, and how hopeful that is that we can choose joy and vitality, that there is grace for us. And I love that word that you used, gem, because gems are usually formed under great pressure and are highly valuable and need to be dug up sometimes and polished to shine. So I think that's a very powerful term and phrase. And as you stand before us and share from this place of going on this journey of overcoming so many difficult things, especially starting at such a young age, you have become an expert in stepping forward and continuing to move forward in a positive way. You've learned how to embrace that grace, how to overcome, and now you're reaching out and helping others. What have you discovered prevents us from stepping forward and really aligning with our purpose and our calling? What stops us from doing that?
Could you say that last part? I couldn't hear it.
Oh, sure. What stops us, holds us back from really stepping into our gifts and calling?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay, what stops us? Well, I think what stops us from going that direction is our unbelief, which stems from lack of self-awareness. You know, there's just some things about us we can't see because we have blinders when it comes to our flaws. And then we have this pride and ego. And then some people, like myself, I had a lot of walls up and strongholds of shame and guilt and condemnation and unforgiveness and just a lot of things that kept me from seeing the reality of life. So when you start building self-awareness, which is going to require someone else helping you to see yourself, because that is difficult to see your flaws, because, you know, you only see how great you are in your eyes until you do become vulnerable and authentic. And so it's like a catch-22. Until you start building self-awareness, but then again, true self-awareness is going to come when you start recognizing who you really are. Who are you? You know, who are you? Like, when I realized I was a spirit who possesses a soul, my feeler, my thinker, my chooser, my cognitive faculties, including my imagination and memory. And when I received God's love, his spirit, he came and quickened and wakened my spirit, my true self. And I live in this physical body. That is when I found out, hey, I could renew my mind to the word and the spirit of God, and I could be whatever he says I can be. I can do all things in Christ, not just because I read it, but because I understand who I am. I am a spirit recreated by the creator of the universe, spirit. He is in me. He's got me. So I kept taking steps forward because that was my confidence, and that confidence was in his grace, his spirit. And then he led me to certain people, different people that help me, because we live in this world. We need people. Because I was so introverted and isolated because I was ashamed, and I was projecting like nothing was ever wrong, but it was, but I didn't want it. I was so ashamed that I didn't want anyone to know. So I went for years without sharing a lot of things, and it ended up distorting my reality until God renewed my spirit, woke me up, and start renewing my mind to the Word of God, the Spirit of God, and people start coming in my lives. I started getting mentors and coaches and pastors and the body of Christ. I started using everything that was available, including the Spirit of God in me, who was leading me, guiding me,
Beautiful.
and showing me things to come without me even knowing. So
I love this. I'm going to stop you just for a moment, because you shared so much rich information. I want to just give us a moment to digest that and process a little bit. And one of the things I'm hearing is the starting place is remembering you're not alone, and really getting that support, how we can't see a clear picture of ourselves because we're in the picture frame in a sense. We can't step out and really see who we are. So really getting that support, it sounds like, is really important, and getting clarity on who we are. And I'm also hearing this theme of knowing that we are not alone, and those walls we can sometimes put up to quote unquote protect us actually separate us and keep us isolated and keep us stuck, versus being able to bring some of those down. So I'd love to know, how do we create a supportive environment where we are safe to take those walls down a little bit, that we are able to get that real picture of ourselves so that we can lean into who we are and become more aligned with our purpose? How do we do that?
Well, I think for me, from my perspective, it's going to take a community, a family, someone familiar, or a relation that you can trust. And sometimes a more organized community, mentorship, a program, something where, but a lot of times that's so public that you may not feel comfortable sharing everything, so you only share so much. So I guess it depends on the individual, but you do need to find other people like-minded, or who you would like to admire and be like. You're going to have to make friends or try to connect with them so you can feel safe and comfortable enough to put your guards down. Mm-hmm. That's easier said than done. But you can start somewhere when you realize when someone's telling you that's what you need to do, it's easier. I never was told to do that. That's what had taken me so long to do it. I didn't know to do it. Sometimes we appear like we got it all together, or we know everything because, you may be smart in school or whatever. But a lot of people just don't know things, but they're not going to say they don't know because of their pride or whatever. So a lot of it's going to come from community, I believe, and other people reaching out.
Beautiful.
And you being receptive, of course.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that, how important community is. And I liked what you said about people that think like you do, or think and are the way you want to be. Because sometimes if we're looking to grow and to evolve, it's good to have people in our life that we admire and want to model after. It gives us a bit of examples, and sometimes we can hear what they say differently, then sometimes we can hear people who think exactly the same way that we do. So I love that suggestion, but finding that support where we can be safe to let those walls down and to be open and receptive when those people or help is coming towards you, that it's okay to receive. It's okay to let people in so we can grow, connect, and move forward in powerful ways. We are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do that, do you have just a quick thought you want to give our listeners to think about during this next break?
A quick thought, I would say think about who you are and identify where you are right now, and then get with someone you trust and just ask them, how do they see you? How do they hear what other people see about you besides your goodness? And then, begin to seek mentorship and the community help or friends, family, whatever.
Beautiful. Thank you. I love that. Really asking the opinion of others. I think it's great to see what they think is great about you and perhaps something that might be holding you back or a challenge or a blind spot as well. And I think listen. Sometimes we can interrupt or correct or explain instead of listen. So listening is really key in that process as we go to this next commercial break, and use this time to be still, to listen, to really digest and take in some of what Rachel has shared. And towards the end of the show, we'll let you know how you can connect, how you can go deeper. We want you to have that opportunity. So no, we will provide that. But for now, these 2 minutes are for you. So enjoy, breathe, take some thoughts and notes down, and we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Birdie told me Voice America is on Twitter. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeart Radio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeart Radio or on Apple Podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective, plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite hosts. It's just a click away at blog.voiceamerica.com. That's blog.voiceamerica.com. The Voice America Press Blog. All access, all the time.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to empowering women, transforming lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that you wrote down some great things to explore, or perhaps a next step, or maybe someone that you could reach out to and get some thoughts or ideas on what they see in you and about you that you can explore and go deeper. Maybe recognizing someone reaching out for help or reaching out to help. So it's great to look at these things and think about them. As we are getting ready to move into our next segment, I was wanting to take a moment and let you know a couple of resources that are available to you, because I think resources can really support us on our journey, because it's not a solo journey. So I have 2 things that I want to share with you. One, there's a book that launched yesterday, and they are continuing a special rate through today, called Discovering Power. And it's a fiction book. It's very dynamic, shares about a corporate woman's journey as she is faced with layoffs, and how does she stand in her integrity in a leadership position and navigate through her personal life and her business life. It's a very engaging, compelling book. So I want you to know about it. And sometimes having a book like that can really expand our thinking and help us grow. So I encourage you to check it out. It's called Discovering Power. You can find it on Amazon, and the special rate is $1.99 for the next, I believe, through the end of today. So something you do want to take action on, Discovering Power by Karen Ann Bullock, if that is something that pulls at you and feels supportive. The second thing that I wanted to make available to you is called, oh, that's so funny. My mind went a million directions. It's about speaking. So it's called the Speaker Talent Search. So speakertalentsearch.com. For those of you who are feeling that pull, you're feeling that call to step in and really find a way to share your message, perhaps be a guest on one of our shows, that's the place to go. So I encourage you to lean in, check it out. It's part of our way of giving back and helping those of you who are aligning and saying yes to pursuing that calling of sharing your messages to get support on the journey. SpeakerTalentSearch.com. And with that, I'm excited to bring our next amazing guest on. I know you're going to enjoy her as well. She is a fellow host, so I know that you'll enjoy learning about her, tapping into her wisdom, as well as pay attention to learning about her show so you can get more of her as well. So it's my privilege and honor to share Dr. Robin L. Owens. She is an author, a speaker, a coach, and a college professor, a podcast host, founder of Masterful Course Creations. She has a PhD and brings over 2 decades of experience in business, social work, and higher education to her mission of empowering high-achieving women. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, dynamic, and mission-driven Dr. Robin L. Owens to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Good to be here.
You are so welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us. And I'd love for you just to take one moment and share a little bit about your show, because I started with that. So I'd love for people to know a little bit about your show.
Yes, I'm the host of the podcast, Leadership Purpose with Dr. Robin. And I started the podcast to support what I call high-achieving women. Mm-hmm. And by high-achieving women, I mean women who are professional, ambitious, responsible in their professional lives and their personal lives. People come to them at work and at home, and I thought, well, they're supporting everyone else. Who supports them? So I bring them together on the show as guests, and we talk to each other and support each other, and it's one of the great joys of my life.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. And this ties so nicely into what Rachel was reminding us about that community and support. I love it. And you've got that built in and you're bringing it forward. So beautiful, beautiful. And you're right. It's important we come together and authentically support one another. So I love that you do that in the world. I'd like to start with why, though. Why is this work something that has become so important to you? Was there something that happened in your younger years that have led you on this path, or was there a pivotal moment? I'd love to know.
Yes, I had a distinct moment back when I was in high school, and I don't know if other people were like me, but in high school I thought I knew it all. But anyway, in high school I declared out loud that when I grew up, and I did work, it was going to be work that was purposeful and meaningful and fulfilling to me. And the reason why I made that declaration at that time, because years before I heard my mother share this story, but by the time I was a teenager, it really registered in me. And she told the story about how she grew up with 13 siblings in the family, so big family. When she was in high school, she was smart. She was a valedictorian of her high school class, so she wanted to go to college and become a teacher. That was her dream. But the family was so big, her parents couldn't afford to send them all to college. And so they were able to send her brother to college, and the parents' thinking at that time was, well, he's going to get married and he'll have to support a family. You will get married and your husband will support you. So she didn't, that was the reasoning that was their mind. That was the thinking at the time. And so she couldn't pursue her dream to go to college. And so as a result, she ended up working in a factory for 35 years and hating it every year. Now, there's nothing wrong with working in a factory if you're okay and you enjoy that. But for her, it went against who she was and what she wanted to do. She wanted to teach. And so I could see, by the time I was in high school, I could see the impact on her, physically and mentally, just living that life and doing this work that she hated because it was against who she really was. And so this is why I do the work today for her unfulfillment. I put myself on a path to always be in alignment with my purpose, have fulfillment and meaning, and help others do the same.
Thank you for sharing. And I'm letting that sink in. For 35 years, every day, doing something that just felt so out of alignment. And yet she continued to go forward and to provide, and what an impact that had on you, and created this drive and this desire to really help people live on purpose and in alignment with purpose. Can you expand on why that work is so important, why purpose matters?
I believe my mother was a case study. And others have said this, researchers have said this afterwards, but early on I believed part of the reason why she had her physical health at the time, they called them ulcers, when we know they, have different names for when stress lands in your body. And for me, I knew, I had a sense at an early age that it was because she was not expressing her real self, her true self. And then she also had bouts with depression, and I find years later now, research studies say the same. When people are not fully expressing who they are, it could be one of the reasons why they are battling with depression, because they're just not authentic and they're just not being who they were created to be. Wow. And so I want to help people not have that experience, to have the opposite of that, like I do. I figured it out, and I want to help others do the same.
I love that. I love that you figured it out and you're helping others. And so I'm thinking, as this is rippling out throughout the world and throughout the airways, that some people are resonating with either on purpose and they're excited about it, or they may find they've lost purpose. Maybe they had it when they started what they were doing, or maybe they didn't realize they could have that. They just are earning a living or doing the steps. What would you say to them to either discover purpose, bring it more into what they're doing. And maybe this even answers some of those mystery illnesses they're struggling with or battling with. How can they start taking steps to bring purpose and alignment back in?
Yeah, I love that question. And to your point, yes, you can bring it to where you are. You may not have to make a move, let's say, in a job or career. You may bring in aspects of it. Because for me, purpose is, like we've been talking about so far, expressing who you really are. So someone might say, well, what do you mean? Who am I? Well, we have clues inside of us, and they come out in the form of 3 areas. First one, those things we love. We hear a lot of talk about passions, find your passion, and you'll have your purpose. I think they're not exactly the same. I think passion is one indicator to get you to your purpose or to express your purpose. So one, those things you love, your passions. Is there something in there? Let's say someone's in a position now and they're just like, I don't know if this is the place for me. Is there an aspect that you can do something that you love? That's one part. Part 2, is there something that really matters to you? That's a part of that. There's something in there that really matters to you. It's one of your values. All right, so we have your passions, your values. That's 2. Number 3, is there something in there that you can use your natural abilities? And natural abilities, something that comes easily to you, but hard to others. Might be easy for you to organize the office party and organize all the moving pieces, and somebody else is just like, forget it, I can't do it, it's too hard. So something that comes naturally to you. So now we're looking at a combination of these things. Something you love, something that really matters to you, and something that comes easily and naturally to you, and you're good at it, and other people find it difficult. So passions, values, natural abilities. Now the fourth.
Oh, fourth. I'm sorry. I don't want to miss the fourth. Yes, please.
The fourth and last piece is all 3 of those there has to be some combination of all 3 of those, and then you use them in service to someone or something beyond yourself. So it's not just for you. If it's for your personal mission, for your connection with your higher self, with the mission of the company, serving other people. So a combination in service to someone or something beyond you.
Beautiful.
Those are the 4.
I love this. Thank you so much for sharing. I hope people have been taking great notes to explore this. And I'm curious, as people are looking at those 3 areas and then how to put it into action, how to be of service to bring it forward, not just for ourselves, but for others, how, as they're doing that, is it helpful to reach out to people around you and have them explore the questions with you? Is it better to do it yourself first? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong either way. A lot of times we like to, say, what's the right way? It depends on the person's personality. For some people, they're more, they like introspective, right? Okay, I'm going to think about these things myself. Now, if that's your natural way of being, I would suggest to do that. But if you say, well, I don't think that I can come up with it, I'd rather talk with somebody, I'm more comfortable with that, then you can talk with someone you know and love and trust, like Rachel was talking about, and say, what do you think I'm good at? What do you think? And, they can probably see very easily what you can't see. What do you think I'm good at? I remember years ago, before I discovered all this, I kept saying to myself, as a young adult, I'd like to find my passions. And a friend of mine said, what do you mean? You're so passionate about, because one of my passions was listening to speeches. I had all these collections of speeches. She said, nobody has that. That's your passion. So I didn't even realize it then. So anyway, so to your point, yes, other people may be able to help you with that if that's your natural way of interacting. But if you're more introspective and you need to have some time alone and kind of process things your own, then I would say do it individually.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. And even a combination I could see being really powerful, the introspective person kind of coming up with, and then maybe that confirmation outside. Because sometimes too many voices swirling around we can get lost in as well. So I love honoring how we're made. Thank you for sharing that. Really great. And as we are bringing our time to a close, I know that the segments go so quickly. I'd love for you to share. Do you have a number one success tip that you want to share with our listeners today?
Well, it's naturally an offshoot of what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
When you make your decisions, think about all those three components, and if you're doing them in service. When you make a decision, should I do this thing? Should I add this project, do this work, that thing? Does it include some element of my passions, values, natural abilities, and service? And if the answer is yes for all of those, move forward with that.
Beautiful. Thank you. Well, we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, listeners, I want you to think about what Dr. Robin has shared. And maybe this is a great moment with that piece of paper to explore those three things and see how you may be able to put them into action or motion. Really great to explore. We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on your favorite smart speaker. If you have Alexa or Google Home, go ahead and give us a try.
Hey Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast on TuneIn.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed those 2 minutes, and that as you reflect back on our conversation today and you look back at the top of your paper when you wrote down what it is that you needed, what it is that will support you in your journey. I hope as we have navigated through our time together today, as we have danced through the conversation, you have had some insights pop up, some steps you can take, some encouragement on your journey. And part of the way to keep the steps going, to keep moving forward, is to tap into those resources that can support you. I mentioned a couple in the middle of the show when we came back from our previous break about the book Discovering Power and the Speaker Talent Search. Those are some resources you can reach out to. You can also reach out to our guests. I'm going to have them share their contact information. And this isn't just for drill. This is truly their desire to support you and connect with you further and give you ways to do that and support on your journey. So have that paper and pen ready and be willing to lean into a conversation or into a step that is of support to you. Because believe me, I asked them to share with you today because I knew they had a heart to support and help you all in stepping forward and being empowered and encouraged on your journey. So know they are reaching out to you, leaning into you, and I encourage you to reach back out to them to continue that connection and conversation. So with that, I'd love to start with you, Rachel. What is the best way for people to connect in and go deeper?
Okay. My website is rachelleewhite.com. And when you go to that site, you'll have an opportunity to get a free gift if you sign up it's just a leading page there for a free gift. Mm-hmm. And I have a book called It Was Not My Fault by Rachel Lee White. It's on Amazon and a lot of other bookstores, but Amazon.com is good. And the latest book I wrote was Ask Rachel, How Self-Image Determines Your Success. And you can get that on Amazon.com also. So mainly my website has everything you need to know about me as far as contacting me. And I appreciate all of you listening. Have a great day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate it. Appreciate you joining us today and making that those resources and yourself available to support. Thank you.
Yes.
And Dr. Robin, how about you? What's the best way for people to connect in and go deeper?
Yes, I'd love for people to head on over to my website, robinlowens.com, robinlowens.com, and you'll see more about what I talked about today and making those decisions that keep you in alignment with your purpose. You can download the free checklist in case you didn't get a chance to write it down. You can put the checklist on your refrigerator, and that'll help you stay in alignment. So robinlowens.com, robinlowens.com.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And I feel like that's an extra credit bonus tip right there. Put the checklist on the refrigerator because we do always go to the refrigerator. So I love that. That's a great tip for us to carry forward. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And we have time for a bonus speed round of a quick bonus tip or thought to inspire our listeners as they get ready to go back out into the day. It needs to be short, like 15, 30 seconds. So with that, Dr. Robin, I'm going to start with you.
Okay, we talked about purpose and calling today. I want to say it doesn't have to be a big deal. I mean, it feels so big in us. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to find a cure for cancer. Purpose is you expressing who you are. The work that will come out of that will come to you. So don't make it a big thing. It doesn't have to be bigger than what it really is. That's what I want to leave with you, to encourage you to move forward in purpose.
Thank you. I appreciate that because we can make it big and heavy and hard. So we just get to lean in, explore, and discover and take those steps. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Rachel, what's your bonus tip?
I want to say don't get so focused on the goals because the true goal is you becoming who you were meant to be anyway. So it's really no sweat because you can only become who you were meant to be anyway. So just keep becoming who you're supposed to be. In other words, who are you? Just become who you were meant to be, and you'll find it, like Dr. Owens said, those 4 things, those 3 things inside of you, it's all the answer is in you. So no worries. Take your time.
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Taking the pressure off. We can keep stepping forward. Can't mess that up. We just keep taking steps forward. So that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I have enjoyed having you both on the show today, and I know our listeners have as well. Listeners, thank you for tuning in. I want to invite you at the end of today, of our time together today, resist the urge to just rush back into the day. Take a couple moments for you, 2, 3, 5, 7 minutes. Breathe in what serves, release what no longer does, and choose mindfully and purposely how you are going to step forward as a result of our time together today. It matters. You are a gift. The more you can share the gift of who you are, align with your truth, with your gifts, with your purpose, that creates a positive ripple out into the world and makes a big difference, heart by heart, life by life. So take a moment for you to really connect in with who you are and take 1 or 2 or 3 of these steps. You are worth it, and those around you are worth it. So take that time to bloom where you're planted and shine. Have an amazing week, everyone, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall-Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.